Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel, this is my buddy Nate.
What's up?
And today we are talking about Cuties.
Cuties.
But before we dive into that, just if you like my content, please give this video a like. I'm gonna get this out of the way now. Yeah, really appreciate it if you subscribed. Gonna be releasing a lot of new content over the next couple of weeks, and it could be a lot more fun to talk about than this. But Cuties. If you are unaware of Cuties, before talking about the actual film, let's talk a little bit about the controversy around this film and kind of the reason why.
The controversy is kind of why we picked the film.
Yes. Now, would you care to describe the controversy?
There was a poster that Netflix used in August to promote the film that was coming out in September. And the poster, Netflix ended up issuing an apology for because there were a lot of people that felt like it was a very sexualized version of tweens. Mm-hmm. And despite the popularity of shows like Teen Dance Mom, that was outrageous.
Yes.
That they crossed the line. I honestly hadn't seen that poster until we started talking about this. I would say that it's. I agree with Netflix in their statement that they didn't feel that poster represented the content of the movie.
Yes.
In a way, I kind of could believe that image represented how the non-main character girls saw themselves. So,
or how she saw them looking looking in from outside.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't representative. And that's led to there's a DA in Texas who filed charges basically. But the charges have a maximum penalty of $20,000. So it's like. It doesn't sound like that's a child pornography charge to me. That sounds like, somebody who kind of wanted some attention and saw an opportunity and was like, well, I can come up with a charge, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not anything that anybody's going to go to jail for, but, and let's face it, there's no advertising like free advertising.
Yep. Controversy is the best advertisement.
Right. I went into the movie honestly kind of thinking I might not make it all the way through it.
Well, yeah, because
for sleepy reasons, I was like, oh no, I'm kind of feeling like I'm probably actually going to fall asleep in this movie. Was my impression. I didn't think I was going to be outraged. I thought I was going to be bored. I have two daughters. One is in her early 20s and one that's under 10. But I didn't think I was going to be outraged by anything I was going to see. So I thought I was like, all right, well, this is going to end up being some, sexualized version of a girl's coming up story. But I didn't think it was going to be. But. Do you want to get into talking about the movie?
Well, yeah.
Or what we thought about it?
Yeah, because, just really quick, because, I across all of the controversy across Twitter and through all these things, it never sounded like people were actually watching the film and outraged. The people that actually...
They were bandwagon outraging?
Yeah, like, it was just... Oh, I saw a little clip of marketing or the poster, and this must be what it is. And I can agree to this was being mismarketed, but I wanted to just see, is this actually worth the controversy? Is there actually anything that is wrong with this film? Or is this just a case of, is this a more extreme version of Joker, where it's a bunch of internet outrage over nothing?
I personally would describe it as, for me, the difference between what I thought this movie was going to be when I was going into it and what I got was as stark of a difference as what I thought I was going to get when I went into Final Fantasy Spirits Within, and I got what I got.
Okay. Yeah.
It was that much of a difference.
Yes.
I went in thinking, I'm getting Cloud and Sephiroth. Here we go. Where's Tifa?
Where's Tifa?
What is this? I mean, it's pretty. This is pretty. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I wasn't confused about Cuties. I knew what was going on, but I'm just saying it was that stark of a difference. I mean,
it was not at all what any of the controversy led me to believe this film was going to actually be.
What mismarketing movie would you compare it to? Like a movie that you saw and it was marketed like this, and then when you went to go see it, you were like, that's not the movie I thought I was coming to see.
Have you seen those fan edit of trailers where they'll take like a lighthearted rom-com and they'll make it a horror stalker thriller?
Yes.
Those. That level. Yes, the dance scenes are in this, and they're
uncomfortable.
They are meant to be uncomfortable.
I compare them in uncomfortability to the Happy Birthday, Mr. President scene in Leon the Professional, which is also supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yes, and I would also argue it's very comparable. I know you have not seen it, but there's the climactic scene in Little Miss Sunshine is very, very comparable. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There were times when I was like, okay, like I really don't want this camera to linger on this kid's ass for another 3 seconds.
Yes,
and I think I don't know. I haven't interviewed the writer and director, but I think that's the reaction we're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. I think that was what this art was supposed to do to us, is make us be like, okay, here's the train wreck. Okay, everybody looks at the train wreck. Okay, but everybody doesn't want to see all the gushing blood, and okay.
Yep.
All right, you can stop showing me the train wreck now. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, back to the story.
Right. That's exactly what this was, and I really appreciated too that like during the big dance number, or when
anytime these girls' perception of what being first off, that they were grown-ups,
right?
They had that tweenish attitude of, I'm all grown up. I'm this close to being an adult, so you already can't tell me what to do.
Right.
I remember being that age, and I know that she wouldn't mind me talking about this, but when my older daughter was around 14, I got accidentally added to a mass text that she sent out. It was not a picture. I did not see anything that I was not supposed to see. I would have died. But it was a multiple choice question. And I could see that it was sent out to about 20 people.
Oh wow!
And I was just like, I immediately text her mother, like, where is our daughter's phone? What are you doing with that? Mm-hmm. She's like, what are you talking about? And we got into it, but but I can only imagine what I grew up in a time before cell phones, having cameras, and
yep,
so I don't understand the pressure that must be there. I agree with the. Are we getting into talking?
Yeah, full spoilers and everything.
I agree with the imagery that they're showing of Like these girls are trying to figure out what they're supposed to be, and in almost every case, except for the main character, you're looking at, and they showed this on screen, that you're looking at kids that it doesn't appear that their parents are very involved in their lives.
Right. They're all caught up in their own shit.
Right. And so they're not getting guidance on, it doesn't appear through the movie that anyone except for the main character is getting any guidance.
Well, even she's
and the guidance that she's being given, it's not shown in the to be in the most positive light.
Right.
I'm for anybody else to say whether or not that's proper or whatever, but it's not shown to be in happening in a positive light.
Right.
So
she's at least not being receptive to it.
Right. She's just not being receptive to it, and to the negative parts of it, you know, and her mother protects her, you know, and when she needs to. And that's the point, is that she has a structure around her and ends up being the one that endures. And like the scene in the laser tag.
Yeah.
They start dancing. Sure, the one guy looks like he's getting all pervy into it, but then his buddy's just like, are you he like grabs these girls, like, get out of here, like, it looks at the dude like, are you fucking serious?
Yep. And then the scene cuts away and we move on, but their conversation's not over.
No.
Like that, they're about to get into it.
Right.
And it's just like, good, okay, thank God.
Right.
Oh.
Like you were going to talk about at the end when the girls are dancing, you know, probably the first, you know, when they first come out on stage, everybody's cheering for them.
Yeah.
They haven't done a routine yet. You know, it's a bunch of kids coming out on stage, right? Sure.
And even when they begin the routine, and it's like, at first they're
15,
just like
20 seconds.
Okay.
Right. Probably the first 10, 15 seconds of the routine is standard dance routine things. Nothing that's out of the ordinary. Standard kind of cheerleader dance routine stuff.
Right.
And you can hear the crowd kind of clapping. And then the way that they do the audio changes. They left the same song playing, but
the rest of the audio.
The crowd noise went out. And this was about the time when they're dancing a lot more suggestively. And at first I thought that they had just removed the crowd audio from this section of the movie, and then they cut out to the crowd. And the adults of the crowd are not clapping. They're looking at each other like, what is going on?
Some are
with these
just
girls?
like
and it shows the judges doing the same thing, but those same judges had actually already seen them, I thought.
Yeah, but I don't think they went
audition.
that far with their
Well, I
audition.
remember them showing them like doing their pound on the ground, and none of them were doing it very well, and that's why she was just like, "Oh man," that's why.
And that's probably why they were just.
Bad.
Well, that's probably why they were just like, okay, whatever. They're just kids. Like,
Right, well,
you're gonna laugh at them doing this because they're failing at it.
Right, but yeah. So
They got their act together.
Yeah, I mean, like she shoves the one girl into the river, and she almost drowns.
Almost kills her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just like, oh my god, I'm about to kill that girl.
I thought she was gonna kill her for a second. I was like, are we about to have a murder in this last act?
Right. But you know, in the end, she goes home and
well, she starts bawling on stage.
Sure.
It all kind of just hits her, and because her dad's getting his second wife, there's all this family drama going on, and this is kind of her way to escape from it all. And
she's becoming more and more rebellious because her mother was being forced to put on a public face of acceptance and, hey, call another person and tell them how happy you are. And she had heard her mom bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
So she knew how much her mother actually hated this idea.
Yeah.
And it hurt her, and it made her want to lash out. You know, like, all right, fine, my mom's playing the nice role. Well, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Then.
Well, there's that great scene where she hands her the phone and she just
tosses it out the window, drops it. It's your father on the phone.
Nope.
Not today, Satan.
Great scene. And there was when she does run home, like her grandma immediately starts tearing into her, like
Her mom comes to her
dressed in, you know, you're dressing like a whore, all this stuff, and then the mom was just, don't you dare talk to her like that. Like, I will handle this.
Right.
Get out of here.
And she tells her, like, you don't have to come to this thing if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Don't wear that if you don't want to. Like, yeah.
Right. And she ends up going out and doing...
She plays jump rope.
One of the most kid things that a kid could do. She's going out, she's jumping rope and jumping higher, you know.
It's just like...
to a solid, like, 80 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah. It just ends on such a just positive note, which is not at all what I was expecting from this film going in. I was expecting this film to be more precious, or, you know, 12 Years a Slave, or just that. I was expecting this to be a very depressing film, and something that was just like, okay, this might be a very well-made movie, but this is not a film I'll ever rewatch. Yeah. And this was actually something that I would recommend to people to watch. Just go in.
Else than to, go in knowing there's going to be,
you're going to be
probably 5 or 6 like just like cringy ass scenes.
But that's the purpose,
right?
And yeah. And I guess
it made me cringe more than Hostel, and Hostel definitely makes you want to cringe.
Yes,
and it doesn't achieve it quite like this movie does, without any blood or burning of eye sockets with blowtorches.
Yes, no, you definitely feel very uncomfortable in this film, but not to the extent that I feel there's any legal issue with anything that was actually done in this film. Like, no, I mean,
there's the one scene where she's re-stolen the cell phone from the guy that she stole the cell phone from, and takes a picture of herself without any pants or underpants on. But, and I was like, oh god, they're not going to show this. And
but they don't.
I'll be honest, I'm not even. I probably squinted my eyes too much to remember if they did or not. I'm sure they didn't. I'm positive that would absolutely bring charges.
Yeah,
but I mean, I was still just like, oh god, and she's not really going to do this. Right? She's not going to hit send. She like uploads it to a cloud or something. I was just like, oh god. And then she tries to like. But before that, she had tried to like throw herself at the guy.
Right.
And he's just like,
no.
What are you? You are a kid. What is going through your head?
Yeah.
Like, so every time these girls' bad assumptions about what they were supposed to be doing or who they were supposed to be rubbed up against an adult, someone responsible, it was a completely negative reaction. There was no reinforcement of this.
Yeah.
By any adult who actually paid attention to what these kids were doing.
Yeah, and if there was, it was immediately contrasted by somebody on the opposite end.
Reason.
Yes, properly morality. Reacting to that.
Right.
Because you do have the judges that are still kind of like, but I think that's more because of the crowd, if anything. And same with the laser tag security guard. But the only other adult in that scene with the security guard is like, what the fuck, and
completely mortified.
And every other person in the scene and around the judges is horrified. So it's just like, okay, they're also probably completely desensitized to this stuff because of what they do, which is its own thing. They wouldn't notice. Yeah, they wouldn't. Well, there's that, but then also the judges. They're this is, how is this any different from any of the other things that they probably see on a day-to-day basis?
That's right. I mean, and who knows?
And that's its own big issue there too.
They may have seen the Aristocrats.
They may have been part of the Aristocrats. That's its own thing. Let's not get into Aristocrats while we're talking about Cuties. That is an odd double feature.
I'm glad it's not.
Oh, that would be a hell of a double feature, though. But
in all, I enjoyed the movie. I'm not sure. It's kind of a requiem for a dream. I mean, like, I would suggest it to other people, but I don't know when I would rewatch it.
Yeah, same. It would be. I would recommend it to people. I probably not going to be rushing out to rewatch this film, but if somebody has not seen it and is just like, and they are looking to, and I'm like, toss it on. I'm not opposed to rewatching this film.
No.
But unlike Requiem, which I happen to fucking love, like Requiem I seek out rewatching. This is not one of those for me. This is closer to Precious, but it didn't make me feel horrible about the experience I watched. It was a very positive message in the end. And it was a just cautionary tale about, pay fucking attention to your kids. And don't let social media and Hollywood...
Raise them.
Yeah, raise them. Like, that's what you're going to get. They're going to look at WAP and stuff like that and think that's how to get ahead. And you need to talk to them.
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah. So...
What would you rate it?
For me, quality-wise, I would rate this... Oh, yeah, just all in all, I will rate this a solid 8 out of 10. This was a very, very good movie.
I agree. Same. 8.
Yeah. Like, the parts that made me cringe were intended. They served their purpose. Yeah, and it kind of proved my original thought that all the controversy is from people that have not seen this movie, and it seems like anytime that anybody that has seen the movie and is defending it, not that like whether or not the content is there is more of just like, it's just like, well, yeah, it is, but that's the point. Like, it doesn't actually go to the lengths that you think it does in your head. Because I remember I was seeing things that people were citing that there was the kids were like getting fully naked, exposing themselves in scenes. And I was just like, there's no fucking way that would ever be released. Number one, that wouldn't get past censors and all that. And yeah, no, like that would have been yanked by now if that was the case. So, but yeah, this film does not deserve the controversy. It's probably helping it get a lot more success, or at least attention. I don't know if success, but it's getting a hell of a lot more attention because of it. But I highly recommend seeing this film. Just know what you're getting yourself into, and but at the same time, it's nowhere what people are saying it is. Take that how you will. But that's wrapping this up. We've got some other things that we're going to be talking about the next couple of weeks, and then I've also got my own like individual reviews that I'm going to be doing, so make sure you subscribe. But catch you next time. Stay safe all, and have a good one.
Later.